drive and say, oh, I'm not a beta male. I'm not a beta male. You know, you're a beta male.
Beta.
Early in the morning, they went to the table with the black robe, the black shield, and they pulled out the votes.
Sam, if I could just get this sentence out. We can talk about Jimmy Dore can go and kill 15 kids tomorrow, and I still believe in force the vote.
That will enhance our underlying effort to accommodate the Russian oligarchs and make sure we take their ill-begotten gains. We're going to accommodate them. We're going to seize their yachts, their luxury homes, and other ill-begotten gains of Putin's kleptocracy. The guys who are the kleptocracy. But these are bad guys.
I eat extra sharp. That's what I eat. Dub is a shit fuck, you know, cringe tour, etc., etc.
$7 million for reef fish management, $25 million to combat Asian carp, $2.5 million to count the number of amberjack fish in the Gulf of Mexico.
seriously, hot sauce. I've been hot sauce. I've been serious. Seriously, hot sauce. I've been eating a lot of hot sauce, a lot of raw peppers and hot sauce.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
They have cans of soup, and they throw the cans of soup. That's better than a brick because you can't throw a brick, it's too heavy. But a can of soup, you can really put some power into that, right? And then when they get caught, they say, no, this is soup from my family. They're so innocent. This is soup from my family. It's incredible. And you have people coming over with bags of soup, big bags of soup, and they lay it on the ground, and the anarchists take it, and they start throwing it at our cops, at our police. And if it hits you, that's worse than a brick because it's got force. It's the perfect size. It's like made perfect. And when they get caught, they say, no, this is just soup from my family. And then the media says, this is just soup. These people are very, very innocent. They're innocent people. I went in yesterday and there was a television screen. And I said, this is genius.
Get your words straight, Jack.
Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of the Goddamn. I am here again, once again. I am here to do a show. I'm here to entertain, and I'm here to ascertain how to entertain. They got a show going on. This is Above It All 1571. That's a lot of Above It Alls. There's a lot of them. Why are there so many? Why are there so many of these? Who knows? Do you know? No one has fucking canceled this show yet? We're still going? What the hell? As you can see, I am reporting live in my pajamas, because why bother getting dressed? I work from home, so, what are you gonna do? I don't even need to, I slept in these clothes. What the fuck? I'm not trying to impress anybody. Alright, so we got a show here, today. I've got a lot to talk about. We're gonna be spending most of this show discussing the elementary school shooting in Texas. There's more details that make me want to rip my fucking face off. I'm not gonna lie. Jordan Peterson and Dickie Dawkins on psychedelic mushrooms. I'll look at that later, maybe. I don't want to poison the well. I didn't know that was a thing, but I'm sure it's profound. Realon says, I canceled you many times. You sure about that? Last time I checked, I'm still here. Tyler Hackner says, come. It's a good post. That's probably the best post in the chat so far. In fact, hold on. All right, y'all. We've got a show that I'm going to do. I don't even know, where to start. There's just so much. There's so much going on. Let me start by cracking open an ice cold seltz. This is Polar Black Cherry. All right. mean, this is really just some stupid ass shit, but it's good for the SEO. Play the Ashes 2063 Doom 2 mod. It's triple S based. Maybe. Nicole Arbauer clip along Jordy P if he knew what a MILF is, and then she said many people consider him a DILF. I'm going to be honest with you, many people do not consider him a DILF. That is not real. That is fake news. All right. So, there's someone on the internet that nobody likes. Let's be honest. Nobody likes this guy. Like, on a personal level, no one likes this guy. The only reason people even pretend to like this guy is because he has money. Well, he recently lost $69 billion because of the stock market crash. But, whatever. We're talking about Elon Musk. So Elon Musk is posting cringe on his Twitter account. Again, I just want to be very clear. There is not a single human on planet Earth that likes this guy for anything other than the fact that he is rich. He is not smart. He is not witty. He is not funny. He is not interesting. He is not any of those things. This guy is a fucking moron. So anyway, he's posting cringe. He says on Twitter, use of the word billionaire as a pejorative is morally wrong and dumb. Tongue sticking out emoji. If the reason for it is building products that make millions of people happy. So, like, again, whenever I make these Elon videos, I tend to get these, 16 to, 25-year-old, oh, I really like space, and I'm a libertarian kind of people that, just pretend like everything he says is, a banger or something. Okay, but you have to understand, Elon Musk is a billionaire. Okay? He is a billionaire. That would be like if me, as a white person, were to say, oh, white people are great. Take it with a grain of salt, motherfucker. You know what I mean? So anyway, billionaires do not build products that make millions of people happy. Elon Musk has not built a product in his life. What he does is he goes around and buys up companies that build products and then takes credit for them. That's all he does. That's it. He has never had an original idea. All he does is go around and uses billions of dollars to buy other people's patents and ideas and then put his name on them. It's the Trump thing. It's like, oh, I'm going to have Trump Tower, Trump Steaks, Trump University. That's all it is. Again, it's it's insane, right? That anyone would buy this shit. It really is. It really is incredible. It's like colonizing, but on an idea scale instead of geographic scale. But he also posted another really cringe-filled tweet. And I got Nina Turner's response up for it because she nails it. Who do you trust less? Real question. So there's 2.6 million votes on this. And again, the results of this, now again, imagine who the people are that would vote in an Elon Musk poll. There was a report done that I think it was 20% of Elon Musk's followers are fake accounts or something, right? So anyway, who do you trust less, politicians or billionaires? So Nina Turner responds. Honestly, every time I see an Elon Musk tweet, Nina Turner's got the best response, and it's always pinned to the top because, the Twitter algorithm knows I love it. But anyway, Nina Turner says, trick question. The politicians are bought by and work for the rich. They're synonymous. The politicians bail out and subsidize billionaires like you while they get nothing. You get billions in their tax dollars for SpaceX while they can't afford to go to the doctor. That's that. Boom. Boom. Again, anyone that would vote in this poll, right, that would vote for politicians, they got, and again, I hate to say it.
Only the really, I hate to say this, but those with the lowest IQ.
They're the same thing. The billionaires own the politicians. The politicians are the subservient class to the billionaires. Right, so anyway, he posted this poll, and then I think he was something at AOC, I dare you to run the same poll with your followers. Like, what is this guy's obsession with AOC? I don't know. Like, why don't you pick a fight with Biden or something? He's the president. Why are you picking a fight with, like, a fucking, I don't know, like, 32-year-old fucking congresswoman? Like, it's weird. It's weird. It's strange. It's very strange. It's bizarre, some would say. It's bizarre. So anyway, this guy's posting cringe again. Just wanted to point that out. Start the show with a little something fun. And, again, there is not a single human being on Earth that likes Elon Musk for his personality, for his looks, for his opinions. The population of human beings on planet Earth, percentage-wise, that would be interested in any of those three things is 0. 0% of human beings. If you were to, like, develop a time machine, if you were to develop a fucking time machine, right, and ask and poll every human who's ever lived in human history, and then also in the future of humanity, you would still get 0% of people that would find him interesting on any part of his personality other than the fact that he has money. And again, does he even have that much money anymore? He's lost $69 billion through the course of the stock market crash. Sure, obviously he's going to be fine, right? He's too big to fail, right? So the stock market crash only really affects people that are not too big to fail. That being said, anyone still calling this guy the world's richest man? I mean, it's a joke. He's never been the world's richest man. Let's be honest, the world's richest man is probably something like Putin or the Crown Prince of Saudi Arabia, MBS, right? Like, let's be honest. Let's be real. Okay? And then also, like, this guy is losing all of his money because Tesla's taking a shit because of the stock market crash. And if you look at, like, Tesla stock and compare it to, like, Amazon stock, hey, I'm just saying, Amazon not doing so well, Tesla doing significantly worse. So, I don't know, man. Jeff Bezos might want to get his title back. That's all I'm saying. So, anyway, I just want to say, I really hate when motherfuckers go like, the world's richest man. Huh? What? Citation needed, motherfucker. Is he still going to have Twitter? I doubt it. I doubt it. I highly doubt that that thing is going to happen. And if it does happen, it's not going to be anytime soon. Best job must be politics if you want to live a long life. These politic fuckers never die. Yo, Henry Kissinger is like fucking 99 years old. What the fuck is going on in this world? How is that even possible? One of the Arab kings. Yeah, like the Crown Prince. I mean, keep in mind, like the Crown Prince, MBS, owns all of the other, like, you know, wealthy people in the country. In the same way that Putin owns all the wealthy people in Russia, right? When you control personal wealth plus political wealth, let's be honest, Elon Musk doesn't even crack the top 10. Let's be honest here. But people love to, like, you know, stroke this motherfucker's ego. Did I discuss Kissinger in Davos? He was posting cringe, like saying, Ukraine needs to give up its territory to Russia. It's interesting, by the way, that, like, Jackson Hinkle is on the same team as Henry Kissinger. That's an interesting observation. But I did not cover it. Who cares? So the rest of the show I'm probably going to spend talking about the elementary school shooting that happened in Uvalde, Texas. You know, so if that's something that you don't want to listen to, this is your trigger warning. You know, I understand if you don't want to watch that kind of content, but there's a lot of details that came out over the course of yesterday. And then a lot of, you know, politicians being horrible people and so forth that I want to get into. And, you know, I think personally, my opinion on this is it's a watershed moment in American politics. It combines a lot of issues that Americans face on a daily basis. It combines racism. It combines school shootings, gun violence, police brutality, police incompetence and negligence, political like politicians being negligent. This is like the intersection of so many issues that we are facing in this country. And so, in my opinion, that's why I'm choosing to cover it to the extent that I am. Okay. I don't know what the order is for this. Let me get a better order for this real quick. Okay. So, yesterday or the day before when I was covering the shooting, I read a quote from one of the parents who spoke to television. And one of the parents who lost their child at the shooting said that they felt that the cops were unprepared. And personally, you know, I knew that that was not true immediately. Now, I can understand how someone who doesn't know much about policing or whatever could come to that conclusion. But it was very clear that the cops were prepared. Again, their budget, 40% of the city's budget annually, $4 million every year. They've got riot gear. They've got high precision rifles. They've got machine guns. They've got grenades. They've got SWAT teams. They've got helicopters. They've got tanks. They've got all this bullshit. If there were a Black Lives Matter demonstration in Uvalde, Texas, the tanks and the grenades and the tear gas, that would have been out in 30 seconds. So we need to understand that the cops were prepared. But not only were they prepared in terms of gear, equipment, and resources and people, but they were prepared in exactly what to do in case of a school shooting. Because again, they're so common in this country that police departments, right, like the Uvalde School District, right, which has its own police department, they literally had plans what to do if there's a school shooting. What do? We do this, we follow this plan, we do this, you go there, blah, blah, blah. So not only were they not unprepared, not only were they prepared in terms of weaponry, armor, people, they were prepared so much that they had the foresight to create a plan of action for this exact scenario. The Uvalde School District had an extensive safety plan. 19 children were killed anyway. This is from NBC News. And I just want to say, NBC News, that's a good fucking headline. From mainstream media, which honestly I have very little faith in, this is an excellent headline. Though, I wish they would have pointed out the police more, but still, even security plans that appear to be up to the latest research-based standards may have gaps and fall short of preventing the worst-case scenario, experts said. School officials in Uvalde, Texas promised to do everything they could to protect students from a mass shooting. Uvalde Consolidated Independent School District had doubled its security budget in recent years. According to public documents, in part to comply with state legislation passed in the wake of 2018 school shooting, in which 8 students and 2 teachers were killed. The district adopted an array of security measures that included its own police force, threat assessment teams at each school, a threat reporting system, social media monitoring software, fences around schools, and a requirement that teachers lock their classroom doors according to a security plan posted on the district's website. It happened anyway. this is insane to me. I really, once again, I need to say this, that police being police is the best anti-cop propaganda that could possibly exist. If I dedicated my life and 100% of the resources that my life entails, if I spent all of my money doing research, if I spent all of my time creating anti-cop propaganda, I would never even come close to this news story. The police actions in and of themselves are the best anti-cop propaganda anyone could possibly ask for. I cannot possibly imagine how a human being can read a story like this and come away with, cops are still good guys, just bad apples. It's just, the whole Uvalde police station and the old school district are all bad apples. Doesn't mean that cops in general are bad. It's insane. Somehow, the account provided by authorities is not entirely clear. I'm not sure if this is in the article, but it was reported that 18 minutes of police radio chatter was mysteriously disappeared. They just, somehow one of the car drives got corrupted. Oh, darn. What bad timing. Now people will never know what we were talking about while the shooter was going inside the school and killing children. Now they'll never know what we were saying on the scanner radios. Isn't that just such a fucking coincidence, huh? A high school dropout with no known criminal history was able to evade a district officer outside Robb Elementary School on Tuesday and enter a back door armed with a rifle. From there, the gunman, 18, proceeded down a hallway into a classroom where he locked the door and opened fire, authorities said. 19 children were killed, along with 2 teachers. I also want to say that one of the teachers who died, literally using herself as a human shield to make sure that kids survived. She jumped in front of bullets to save these children, something the cops never even dreamed about doing. The cops, with bulletproof riot gear and armor plating all over their bodies, they would never jump in front of bullets to save a child. A teacher wearing a fucking t-shirt sacrificed her life. But I also want to say that the teacher who died, one of the teachers who died, their husband had a stress-induced heart attack after reading the news and also died, which is something that I haven't seen reported in too many news agencies yet, but I feel like that is a direct result. So just want to throw that out there. Police and federal agents soon arrived and got a school official to unlock the door and then shot the gunman dead. I don't know what soon arrived. Wrong. I was praising the headline a little bit here, but the word soon here, whoever decided to write soon in this article deserves to be thrown in jail because that is disgusting garbage. To turn an hour into soon, let's be honest, what the fuck? The investigation remains in its early stages and the school district has not answered questions about how its security plan was implemented, but the death toll suggests that even security plans that appear to be comprehensive and up to the latest research-based standards may have gaps and ultimately fall short of preventing the worst-case scenario. The fact that they had a security plan does not necessitate that they followed the security plan. That needs to be understood. Mainstream media here loves to do both sides. Okay? They have a security plan, and they just said, fuck it. I'm not going in there. I ain't going in there. I'm going to read this article later. Texas police lieutenant says cops were reluctant to engage gunmen because they could have been shot. I'll get into that in a moment. Again, a teacher wearing a t-shirt jumped in front of bullets to save the kids' lives. Armored like fucking stormtrooper neo-Nazi thugs with armor steel plating on their fucking legs, on their body, on their fucking face. They didn't even go inside the building. These motherfuckers are wearing Iron Man suits and they wouldn't fucking put themselves in danger. But a teacher wearing a t-shirt was more brave than any of these people. And I'm going to read a story later about another parent who was also acting heroically. But, one story at a time here. There's just so much to talk about. We can do everything we can to mitigate and prevent school shootings, but we are never going to stop these events from happening 100% of the time because evil exists, said Kathy Martinez Prather, director of Texas School Safety Center. Again, these people belong in jail. I don't give a fuck. Okay? What criminal code is that? This is the Texas School Safety Center saying, there's nothing we can do. There's nothing we can do. This is the director of the safety of these schools in the entire state. Ain't nothing we can do. Gee golly willikers, I ain't got no idea. What? 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 That shit's fucking crazy. That said, it is important that we have plans in place and training and drilling on that plan. So they want to spend more money to train and drill on plans that they're just not going to do when the time comes. I'm not even going to bother reading that garbage. These are people that belong in jail. These are people that not only should be fired, they should not be in charge of these things. When you dedicate your life to quote-unquote school safety, and you say this shit, and you defend people just doing nothing, your employees doing nothing, while someone is literally slaughtering 19 children, I'm sorry. You should, at the very least, be fired, but in my opinion, criminal negligence charges should be brought against you. You should be thrown in jail. You deserve worse than jail. Let's be honest about this. This is 100% evil. Because evil exists! Evil exists! Yes, this person is evil. This is the evil we are talking about. Is this person. Someone that takes and dedicates their life to making sure that no one who actually gives a shit can be in this position. Because that's what that is. Because again, it's not just that these people are garbage at their jobs, but it's that them being garbage fills the seat so that someone who actually would do something can't have that opportunity to actually protect people. That's why this is so fucking dangerous. The center has done a high-level review. What? A high-level review? What the fuck does that mean?
And by the way, I don't think that's some grand conspiracy. I think this is sort of what power is. I mean this at a sort of high level.
Of districts' plans as part of a periodic check under state legislation passed in 2019. The center also completed a detailed review of COVID-19 safety plans and intends to focus on plans for active threats next. Martinez Prather said, I don't give a shit what she says. She declined to comment on any specifics about the district's security plan. Oh, interesting. Or about the attack itself, beyond saying that the center has not found the district's plans to be in non-compliance. Oh, so she's just not going to talk about the situation. Great. So why is she in this article? But Matthew Mayer, a Rutgers University professor and expert on school violence, said reports that the shooter entered through a back door of the school were cause for concern. For any school, you need to be in control of your entry points, Mayer said. That suggests a problem if he could literally come in through a back door and it wasn't controlled in some sort of way. Again, they had armed guards. They had fences. And if it wasn't a back door, this motherfucker could have just climbed through a window? The Uvalde security plan describes secured entrance systems for 2 of the district schools, but not at Robb Elementary specifically. Okay, so they had all the fences for everything but Robb Elementary. Isn't that interesting? That's very interesting. The plan mentions fencing at Robb Elementary designed to limit and or restrict access to individuals without a need to be on campus. So it describes that it's there, or is it there? Who knows? I don't know. I don't live there. I can't go to the scene and see if there's fences. Curtis Lavarello, executive director of the School Safety Advocacy Council, which trains school officials on ways to protect against attacks, said that many of the measures included in Uvalde's security plan appeared to meet national best practices, but did not include enough details to determine how well they are implemented. Again, the plan does not matter if they don't follow the plan. The plan doesn't fucking matter at all if the people in charge of following the plan don't do anything. Like, very few people have been killed in school shootings behind a locked classroom door, he said. Okay, all of these systems are only as good as the school that's using them? Okay. Man, this article is all over the fucking place. Like, the article, like, this is sanitizing really bad news. I haven't read this full article yet, but it's like, oh, they had a full-fledged plan of action and they didn't do it? Well, let me tell you 18 reasons why that's okay. That's what this article seems to be doing. Lavarello said he often has to convince districts that elementary schools need the same level of security as middle and high schools. A lesson learned from the 2012 shooting at Newtown, Connecticut, elementary school in which 20 students and 6 teachers died. Elementary schools are just as vulnerable as any other school. They should be on the same level as in keeping with school safety practices for the rest of the district. Okay. But again, none of this means anything if the cops just stand around outside for an hour and a half. Authorities have not explained how the shooter got in the back door, or the classroom door, which according to the district security plan should have been locked. The school was holding an award ceremony Tuesday for students who were just a few days from finishing the school year, which may be one explanation for the open doors. Parents reportedly were coming and going in the school all day. So, okay, let me get this straight. So this article talks about how there's a security plan, and police, yeah, the police didn't do anything, but also the teachers didn't do anything either. Is it the teacher's fault? And then it quotes like 4 people that are in charge of safety. Well, I don't know. Did the teachers leave the door up? I guess it's that teacher's fault. That's insane. That's fucking crazy shit. But what needs to be understood here, and the most important part of this, is that they had an extensive safety plan. They planned for this exact scenario, and it all fell apart because cops didn't care. It all fell apart because the security guards didn't fucking do their job. Those that got to the scene that weren't as part of the school security district itself, they just stood around, beat the fucking shit out of parents. I need you to understand. There were cops tackling parents to the ground, pepper spraying and tasing them, while a shooter was murdering their children. Imagine being a parent and you are on the ground with pepper spray in your eyes. You are crying. You are being tased and in handcuffs while you are hearing gunshots ring out, knowing that it could be your child who was just murdered by those gunshots. Could you imagine that? That's insane. That's insane fucking shit. That is insane shit. And mainstream media is going to try to sanitize it to the best of their ability. But they know that a lot of this stuff is not sanitizable. And that needs to be understood, right? Like, they know that this is really bad, and they're going to try their best to make it seem like it's not as bad as it is. But I think most people are able to see through this kind of stuff. I want to play a quick video here from the Washington Post as well. A video recorded outside Robb Elementary School on Tuesday reveals new details about the timeline of the Uvalde shooting and shows parents who shouted the police response was inadequate and sluggish. Visual forensics video reporter Joyce Lee explains more. So this is a quick video to showcase what was happening during this police standoff with parents. Just a little bit inside this.
Hey, y'all can't be like that, man. Y'all can't be like that when there's people.
Yes, I do. Get across the street.
The video live streamed to Facebook on Tuesday suggests that the gunman at Robb Elementary School was inside for at least an hour before he was killed by authorities.
They're all in there. The cops ain't doing but standing outside.
The shooter entered the school armed with a gun at approximately 11:30 a.m. The video live stream begins at 11:54 a.m. It shows frustrated and scared parents shouting at police, trying to enter the building themselves.
6-year-old kids in there. They don't know how to defend themselves from a shooter.
So again, just to be clear, you can see that these guys are wearing armor plating, right? Like, and yet they let a teacher wearing a t-shirt do their job for them?
Authorities have said that police officers tried to enter the building, but came under fire, and that a tactical unit eventually made its way in and confronted the shooter. They announced at 1:06 p.m. that the shooting was over and that they had the suspect in custody. But the details of what happened in the 90 minutes are still unclear.
So it was previously reported as of yesterday that this took place over the course of around an hour. We're learning more details that there was about 20 minutes before the gunman, so-called, got into the school where they could have done something they chose not to. It's now being reported that the police went in, got their own children, and then went out and then blocked everyone else from doing the same thing. And now it's being reported again that the shooting took place over the course of a 90-minute span. Again, about 20 minutes before the shooting took place, before he was able to actually murder children, right? And then about an hour of a standoff as he was murdering the children. That's insane. That's insane. That's fucking insane fucking shit. That's insane. That's fucking insane. So again, I really need to talk about just how horrible policing are. And that's not, it's not, I don't even know what to say, but it's just insane. Okay, I want to read an article here that has a lot of new information as well. The Uvalde shooter fired outside of the school for 12 minutes before entering. Local residents express anger and frustration as police detail new timeline of mass shooting. So this is going to showcase a lot more of the police incompetence and negligence in this article. Local residents voiced anger Thursday about the time it took to end the mass shooting at an elementary school here, as police laid out a fresh timeline that showed the gunman entering the building unobstructed after lingering outside for 12 minutes firing shots. So 12 minutes, there are security teams that were theoretically engaging with him. He didn't get in, right? I don't know, reinforce some doors, maybe tell everyone that there's a mass shooter, maybe evacuate the school on the opposite side of the school. What's going on? Victor Escalon, a regional director for the Texas Department of Public Safety, gave a new timeline of how the now deceased gunman, 18-year-old Salvador Ramos, walked into the Robb Elementary School, barricading himself in the classroom and killed 19 children and 2 teachers. Mr. Escalon said he couldn't say why no one stopped Ramos from entering the school during that time Tuesday. Most of the shots Ramos fired came during the first several minutes after he entered the school, Mr. Escalon said. I just want to say, once again, if you are in any position at the Texas Department of Public Safety, you need to resign. We need new people. Clearly, these people are not doing their jobs. Regional Director for the Texas Department of Public Safety. You failed. You're a loser. Strike one, you're out. 20 kids are dead. Fuck you. Do not pass go. Go the fuck to jail. Get the fuck out. And let someone who actually gives a fuck manage this position. Let one of the parents who lost their children manage this position. Because maybe they would fucking care. That shit's fucking insane. People who arrived at the school while Ramos locked himself in a classroom or saw videos of police waiting outside were furious. The police were doing nothing, said Angeli Rose Gomez, who, after learning about the shooting, drove 40 miles to Robb Elementary. This story is insane. This story, I need you to, brace for impact, put your seatbelt on. This fucking shit is crazy. After learning of the shooting, drove 40 miles. 40 miles. Now, I would assume she maybe, right, breaking a little bit of the speed limits. But 40 miles is a long time. 40 miles is a long fucking time. It takes a long time to drive 40 miles. Doesn't matter what speed you're going. Doesn't matter if you're going 200 miles per hour. It's going to take you a really hefty amount of time to get 40 miles, to drive 40 miles, where her children are in 2nd and 3rd grade. They were just standing outside the fence. They weren't going in there or running anywhere. Mr. Escalon said officers inside the school were evacuating students and school employees from the premises, as well as calling for backup. There's a lot going on. Now, again, if your first instinct is to defend the police in action, again, do not pass go. Get the fuck out. Resign. Get the fuck out. Department of Public Safety officials previously said an armed school officer confronted Ramos as he arrived at the school. Mr. Escalon said Thursday that information was incorrect and no one encountered Ramos as he arrived at the school. There was not an officer readily available and armed. So, at first, there's 2 security guards that just happened to get shot. Oh, we're useless. Then there was 1 security guard who got shot. Oh, I'm useless. And now there's none? What? Ramos shot his grandmother Tuesday morning and drove her truck to Robb Elementary School, crashing the vehicle into a nearby ditch at 11:28 a.m. Now, again, I want to remind everyone, the shooter was pronounced dead at 1:06 p.m. According to the timeline laid out by Mr. Escalon, he then began shooting at people at a funeral home across the street, prompting a 911 call reporting a gunman at the school at 11:30. Ramos climbed a chain-link fence about 8 feet high on school grounds and began firing before walking inside, unimpeded at 11:40. The first police arrived at the scene at 11:44. So again, were there security guards? The security plan says that there are security guards. The first reports say that there are security guards. Now all of a sudden they cease to exist. And they arrived at 11:44 and exchanged gunfire with Ramos, who locked himself in a 4th grade classroom there. He killed the students and teachers. A Border Patrol tactical team went into the school an hour later, around 12:40 p.m., and was able to get into the classroom to kill Ramos, Mr. Escalon said. Caitlin Martinez, a 4th grader at Robb Elementary, was playing with other kids during recess when Ramos first appeared on school grounds with an AR-15 style rifle. We all ran in and they told us to sit down and they turned off the lights and locked the door, the 10-year-old said, holding back tears as she laid flowers with her family at a makeshift memorial for victims in downtown Uvalde. Caitlin said 3 police officers eventually came to the door of her room, which was near the one in which Ramos locked himself. They told us there was a gunman, so we have to evacuate, and we all had to run to the parking space, as she recalled. I want to remind everyone that there was one interaction where a police officer said, "Yell if you need help." And one of the children yelled for help, and then the shooter killed that child. We talked about that in yesterday's show. Outside, she found her mother, Gladys Castellan, who had been pleading with police to act more aggressively to end the standoff as she waited. Miss Gomez, a farm supervisor, was also waiting outside for her children. She said she was one of the numerous parents who began encouraging, first politely and then with more urgency, police and other law enforcement to enter the school sooner. After a few minutes, she said U.S. Marshals put her in handcuffs, telling her she was being arrested for intervening in an active investigation. The cops were more concerned with beating the fucking shit out of parents who had their kids dying in the school than they were to actually deal with the fact that there's a fucking shooter at the school. It's insane. It's insane. That's insane. Like, again, these people deserve way more than prison. These people deserve way more than life in prison. Prison, for these people, would be a godsend in comparison to what they actually deserve. It's fucking insane. Imagine being a police officer. There's a school shooter. You're not gonna... Fuck that shit. Again, I want to show this headline. Texas police lieutenant says cops were reluctant to engage gunmen because they could have been shot. They were wearing fucking body armor, riot shields, riot armor. They had helmets. They had all that good shit. And they were more concerned with beating the fuck out of parents than they were with stopping the shooting. I don't know how anyone could possibly read this and still defend police in this country. Like, you literally have to be a neo-Nazi. There's no gray area here. The only way that you would defend the police behavior in this country at this point in time in 2022 is if you are a proud neo-Nazi. There is no, oh, I'm a liberal and I love the cops. You can't do that anymore, motherfucker. I'm sorry. This isn't fucking 1975. You lost your chance. Get with the fucking times. These motherfuckers are insane. This is a rogue paramilitary group that controls the country, and they, again, are more concerned with beating the fuck out of parents than they are with stopping a school shooter. $4 million annual budget, 40% of the city's budget. But it gets worse. Ms. Gomez said she convinced local Uvalde police officers whom she knew to persuade the marshals to set her free. A spokesman for the U.S. Marshal Service said deputy marshals never placed anyone in handcuffs while securing Robb Elementary's perimeter. Our deputy marshals maintained order and peace in the midst of grief-stricken community that was gathering around the school. So I just want to say, who would you trust more? A parent whose children may be getting slaughtered and who's trying to go in and save them? Or the U.S. Deputy Marshal man, spokesperson man? Who is more trustworthy? Now again, I want to remind everyone, police are trained to lie. They lie all the time. That is their job. Their job is not to lie only if it's convenient. Their job is to lie as the default. They lie as the default. That is what they are trained and taught to tell the opposite of the truth at every turn. So if the cop says, we didn't do that to anybody, and a mother says, they fucking handcuffed me, Ms. Gomez described the scene as frantic. She said she saw a father tackled and thrown to the ground by police, and a third pepper sprayed. Once freed from her cuffs, Miss Gomez made her distance from the crowd, jumped the school fence, and ran inside to grab her two children. She sprinted out of the school with them. Now, yesterday I showed a video of parents being tackled to the ground by cops with tasers. But now we know that they were pepper spraying them as well. We gotta keep the peace. Oh, there's a shooter killing 20 kids? Oh, that's great. But let me beat the shit out of this parent. Gotta keep the peace. Let me pepper spray a crying mother. Handcuff and pepper spray a crying mother because you gotta keep the peace. This shit is insane. It's insane. It is insane. Like, I need you to understand, police are not here to protect and serve. They are a rogue, paramilitary militia that's only purpose is to oppress everyday citizens. They chose. Now, this is for anyone who's not a cop, this is an easy choice. Right? What is more of a threat? Someone who is like at least 40 years old, right? Who's a parent of a child? Right? Who would you want to go after more? Right? Or a school shooter. Someone with a machine gun mowing down 19 kids. If you respond to that question by saying, oh, the parent is obviously more of a concern for public safety. Again, jail, prison for life is a kindness in comparison to what these motherfuckers deserve. This is aiding and abetting a mass slaughter of children. The police gave aid and comfort to those engaging in a fucking goddamn mass slaughtering of children. I need to be very clear here. The cops acted as a security force for the shooter. That was what they did. They were the security for the fucking shooter. That's what this was. There is no if and or blah, 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 blah. It's insane. I need to... She saw a father tackled and thrown to the ground by police, and a third pepper sprayed? And I want to be very clear, nothing will happen. Like, this is what we need to understand. Just as how every other time police do the wrong thing, nothing happens, nothing will happen here. No one's going to get fired. No one's going to get charged. They're all going to go on like it never happened. They're all going to forget what happened. They're all going to act like it never happened. And then they're going to go fuck some other people up. Videos circulated on social media Wednesday and Thursday of frantic family members trying to access Robb Elementary as the attack was unfolding. Some of them yelling at police who blocked them from entering. Shoot him or something. A woman's voice can be heard yelling on a video before a man is heard saying about the officers, they're all just fucking parked outside, dude. They need to go in there. The videos were collected by Storyful, a social media research company owned by News Corp. Okay. Bob Estrada lives directly across the street from the school, which his grandson attends. The 77-year-old said he and his wife walked outside when they heard gunshots and were confused why the police who arrived didn't immediately enter. They are trying to cover something up, he said of the information released Thursday. I think cops were waiting for backup because they didn't want to go into the school. The Uvalde Police Department couldn't be reached for comment. Oh, whoa. Wow, that's insane. I'm shocked that they couldn't be reached for comment. Asked at the press conference why law enforcement weren't able to respond to the initial 12 minutes Ramos was outside the school, Mr. Escalon said that he was part of the investigation. Our job is to report the facts and have answers. We're not there yet. It shouldn't be hard to just release all the body camera footage. It shouldn't be hard to just release all the scanner radio chatter. What do you mean we don't have the facts yet? What? What does that mean? We're not there yet. That means they're still trying to get their story straight. That means they're trying to figure out what the best way to lie is. Mr. Escalon also said police aren't sure how Ramos was able to enter the school building. We will find out more about why it was unlocked. Or maybe it was locked. But right now, it appears that it was unlocked. Joy Martin, who lives 4 blocks from Robb Elementary and walked there after hearing gunfire, said the police's timeline doesn't match what he saw in person. Jay Martin? Nothing is adding up, he said. People are just really frustrated because no one is coming out and telling us the real truth of what went down. But Danny Ruiz, whose great niece died in the attack, said he arrived at the school after hearing gunfire and felt grateful for the police response. These are the motherfuckers who I can't imagine. The Border Patrol agent who took him out, to me, that guy's a hero. Like, okay, first of all, that's not, like, these 2 paragraphs, these are not, like, these are the opposite. This is the opposite. Whose great niece died in the attack said he arrived at the school after hearing gunfire and felt grateful for the police response. The Border Patrol agent who took him out, to me, that guy's a hero. These are not congruent. These are different things. You can praise the fact that one cop eventually did something. That doesn't mean you're praising the police response as a whole. Whoever wrote this, honestly, again, deserves to be in prison for the rest of their lives, because this shit is fucking disgusting. Yeah, sure. An hour and a half or so after the school shooting started, someone finally did something. I'm glad that they chose to do that, right? They could have waited even longer. But that does not mean that the overall police response was good. And again, that is not what this quote even says. This quote is taken out of context. I can imagine. I've been in the news before. When I was doing a lot of protesting last year, I had been in the news several times and done several interviews, probably well over a dozen. I was interviewed by news people, and every time I would check the article, they would take me and quote me out of context. Like, I would say something like, you know, I think all the cops here are, you know, like a waste of, you know, I'm like, all the cops here are a waste of resources, you know, and then something, and then they would quote, like, you know, local protester Andrea Rovenski praised police response to the, and I'm like, you know, what the fuck? That's not what I said. So I can imagine that this is not even remotely what Mr. Ruiz is saying. And the media is just like, hey, you know, let's just pretend anyway. It's close enough. So I just want to be clear, like, I'm not sending any hate on Danny Ruiz, but I'm sending hate on the media for just lying about this. Grateful for the police response. That's just not true. Like, they're trying to both sides it, so they're just making it up out of thin air. Oh, well, obviously one side, 99% of all, like 100% of all the facts say that this is horrible, but let's just conjure something out of the nothing verse to pretend as if there's both sides. Media does this all the time. After the confrontation at the school ended with Ramos dead, school buses began to arrive to transport students from the school. According to Miss Gomez, she saw the police use a taser on a local father who approached the bus to collect his child. This is insane. So, keep in mind, the shooting is over now. The shooter is dead. And a parent who doesn't even know if their child is alive is going to look for their child and they get tased. What? 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 Okay, again, what the fuck? What the fuck? Okay. The shooter's already dead! And yet they're still tasing parents for just wanting to know if their kid was in the fucking death toll or not. It's insane. They didn't do that to the shooter, but they did that to us. That's how it felt, Miss Gomez said. That's insane. It's insane. Like, it's every detail that comes out is more and more insane than the previous. It's fucking crazy. It's crazy. It's again, life in prison would be a blessing in comparison to what these people deserve. Thursday's expressions of frustration came after more than 1,000 people from this grieving city gathered Wednesday night for a prayer vigil. God is here with us tonight, blah, 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 fuck God. That shit's fucking stupid. God obviously is not here with you tonight. Shut the fuck up. Local residents packed the stands, spilled into the aisles, and stood on the dirt. Rodeo floor where the ministers preached. Yeah, fuck these people. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will travel to Uvalde on Sunday to grieve with the community. Now, I want to say this. That is very important to put into perspective here. Joe Biden and First Lady Jill Biden will go to Uvalde. But also, I want to tease another thing I'm going to say. White House sidesteps questions about police response to Texas shooting. So, Joe Biden has said here he has the utmost respect for men and women of law enforcement. So, Joe Biden is going to go there to praise the law enforcement response. It's insane. Nothing about this makes any sense at all. This is fucking insane. This is crazy shit. Like, if you were to, like, if we were watching, like, an episode of Twilight Zone or something, like, I would say that's probably too far-fetched. But no, this is real life. It's fucking crazy. I got a couple more things I want to talk about here.
Mistake.
Okay. Texas police lieutenant says cops were reluctant to engage gunman because they could have been shot.
Well, was it a mistake, do you believe, Lieutenant, for the officers on the scene who were there, as you correctly point out, to wait for this second?
So I just want to say, Wolf Blitzer, usually pretty garbage. But I have to say, this is a layup. This is like, oh, do you think you maybe could have done something a little bit better? Maybe, possibly? I mean, 19 kids just got fucking massacred. Do you think you could maybe have done something at least 1% better? Let's watch.
Tactical team to arrive before fully pushing into that school and neutralizing the gunman.
So what we do know, Wolf, is that there was multiple officers that arrived on scene. There was 3 officers that arrived that made entry at one of the entrances where the gunman actually made entrance to. We had another 4 officers that made entry at the other entrance of the school. So there was officers inside that school. As they were taking gunfire, they were also calling in for reinforcement, backup, tactical teams, snipers, any additional personnel that could arrive to assist to not only with the situation, but also to assist in evacuating students and teachers. At that time, that's when a U.S. Border Patrol tactical officer arrived, also with a Zavala County Sheriff's deputy, as well as 2 additional Uvalde.
So this is called Gish Gallop? That's what this rhetorical tactic is referred to as. Wolf Blitzer asks a very straightforward question. Like, hey, you think you should have done a little bit more, maybe? And then this guy's like, we wanted snipers, tactical teams, border control, body, goddamn. We had people in there. They were people in there. They didn't do anything, but they were in there. They were engaging the gunman. They were engaging gunman. We need snipers. Where are the fucking snipers? SWAT teams and helicopters. What? What? That's not like I'm going to play the question again real quick. I'm at 59 seconds.
Well, was it a mistake, do you believe, Lieutenant, for the officers on the scene who were there, as you correctly point out, to wait for this second tactical team?
Do you think it was a mistake to do nothing? Snipers! We needed snipers from the rooftops! We got the helicopters, man! They gotta come in, the border patrol! What?
Uvalde Police Department officers were able to go into that classroom with a ballistic shield as cover, and of course we know that one of those officers, an agent, actually was shot, was grazed at the top of the head, but they were able to shoot and kill the suspect and preserve any other life. We know that there was other injured children inside that classroom that they were able to save as well and get them to cover, and at that point it became a recovery process, a rescue operation.
So again, Wolf Blitzer, very simple question. Why did you wait an hour, bro? And then this guy basically is acting as if they didn't wait an hour. We went in. We engaged in the gunman. Just leaving out the fact that you waited an hour. You waited a fucking hour. Just skip that part. We engaged the gunman. We had tactical teams. We needed snipers. Someone got grazed in the head. Goddamn. Like, weren't they wearing a fucking helmet? How the fuck do you get grazed in the head if you're wearing a helmet? Like, what the fuck? Did you forget your fucking body armor, you stupid motherfucker? What? What?
Trying to rescue the injured and also any other potential children or teachers that were inside those classrooms.
But don't current best practices, Lieutenant, call for officers to disable a shooter as quickly as possible, regardless of how many officers?
So I just want to say, Wolf Blitzer, typically, not so good. But he basically just ignores the Gish Gallop and asks him the same question again. I have to be honest, I am impressed. This is impressive. Wolf Blitzer should get an S, or like an A on his journalism career at this point. Like, this is a really good follow-up question. Yeah, so anyway, you said a bunch of bullshit. Ignore that. Let me just ask the same question again. Okay.
Are actually on site.
Correct. The active shooter situation, you want to stop the killing, you want to preserve life, but also one thing that, of course, the American people need to understand is that officers are making entry into this building. They do not know where the gunman is. They are hearing gunshots. They are receiving gunshots. At that point, if they proceeded any further, not knowing where this suspect was at, they could have been shot. They could have been killed. And at that point, that gunman would have the opportunity to kill other people inside that school. So they were able to contain that gunman inside that classroom.
Contain the gunman? They said this shit yesterday too. Contain the gunman. What? The motherfucker locked himself in the room. And also, it's your job. You literally signed up for a job where getting shot is in the job description. What? Oh, the cops could have gotten shot? No fucking shit. That's your job, bitch. What? I didn't sign up to be a cop, and teachers didn't sign up to theoretically get shot on a daily basis. Teachers signed up to teach kids. This bullshit about them, oh, we contained the shooter. First of all, he locked himself in the room. Second of all, how can you say that you contained the shooter and that you didn't know where he is and that you had to wait an hour? So, okay, we waited an hour because he was contained, but also we didn't know where he is, and also, what? This is insane. These motherfuckers are crazy. Again, life in prison. For these kinds of motherfuckers, life in prison would be a godsend in comparison to what they actually deserve for the fucking, like, just the bull fucking shit that they put on these people. Again, the cops were tasing and pepper spraying crying parents. The cops were tackling and beating the shit out of parents and handcuffing them, pepper spraying and tasing them while there were shots being heard at the school. Imagine you are on the ground with your face in the fucking mud, freshly pepper sprayed, being tased, and being put in handcuffs while you're hearing gunshots at a school that your child goes to and you don't know where your child is. Can you imagine going through that scenario? If you don't want to go to work, if you want to go to work and not fear about getting shot, get a different job. Get a new job. I go to work every day, and I don't fear for my life getting shot. You want to know why? Because I didn't sign up for a job where getting shot is part of the job description. If you don't want to get shot, I don't know. Be a janitor. Be a garbage man. Do something actually fucking useful. And then also, keep in mind, these police are wearing riot gear. They're wearing like fucking armored fucking like plates all over them. They've got leg armor, body armor, arm armor. They got, a lot of them had helmets. Bitch motherfucker, if anyone's gonna get shot, I'd rather it be the guy in riot gear than the cop or than the teacher wearing a t-shirt. Once again, a teacher dove in front of gunfire to use herself as a meat shield so that the children could get away and survive. She was wearing a t-shirt and she died. And you're telling me the people decked out in riot gear were afraid of getting shot? What? And if you're so afraid of getting shot that you can't do your job, I don't know. Maybe we should do something about the guns in this country. If you think that your life is on the line and you don't want to get shot, maybe we should do something about guns in this country. I'm just saying. These motherfuckers are insane. They're insane. But I have another clip here from another one of these cowboy hat wearing freaks. I'm going to make this one a separate segment. This motherfucker, this guy was talking at a press conference yesterday. And this is, again, just to show you the depravity of police.
The victims, the family members, we feel for them. I'm a father. I can't go home tonight and hug my kids. That hurts. The members behind me are family members. Their kids. It's tough. It's tough. It's hard.
So just to be clear, this guy is saying he understands the pain of 19 children's parents who were murdered because he's staying at the office to do an all-nighter investigation. One night. He's going to stay overnight and get paid triple, quadruple overtime probably, by the way. So it's not like he's doing this on, like, pro bono. He's getting paid a fucking significant amount of cash. But he's going to stay in the office until 2 a.m. to investigate, a.k.a. huddle with the fellow cops to come up with a good lie. But he understands the pain of parents. He understands their pain. What? Can you imagine saying something like that? And wearing this stupid fucking hat, by the way? Imagine saying something like that. Imagine, again, life in prison. I know I'm saying this a lot. Life in prison would be a fucking godsend in comparison to what these fucking crazy, fucking narcissistic, fucking losers actually deserve. This is insane. This is insane. That's insane. We can't go see our families because we're staying up all night, coming up with a good lie. What? 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 That's insane. This is fucking crazy shit. Again, police produce the best anti-police propaganda. It's insane. Like they just say this out loud. They just open their mouths and say the worst shit imaginable every step of the way. It's fucking crazy. That shit's fucking crazy. It's fucking crazy. I don't know what there's no words that could summarize just how insane that fucking shit is. By the way, Gazebo, Joni Gazebo, I noticed you gave me a super chat yesterday that I forgot to say thank you for because I have short-term memory loss. So I'm just saying thank you now while you're here. I appreciate it. And on that note, if anyone wants to give me money, I would also appreciate it. You know, just throwing this out there. It's optional. It's not required. Just throwing it out there. White House sidesteps question about police response to Texas shooting. The White House refused to call for an investigation into the police response to the school shooting in Uvalde, Texas, saying President Joe Biden has the utmost respect for the men and women of law enforcement. Police have been criticized for their slow response to the massacre, with parents reportedly attempting to enter the school themselves before a Border Patrol team finally rushed in. It also needs to be understood, again, police tased and pepper sprayed and tackled to the ground on concrete and handcuffed parents. So it's not only that they had a slow response, okay? Not only that, they were too busy beating the fucking shit out of the parents who were crying in tears, hearing gunshots, knowing that it could be their kid who's being killed right now. What? I know that right now authorities are working to piece together more details of what happened in Uvalde, so we won't prejudge the results from here at this time. White House Press Secretary Karine Jean-Pierre, who's the new person, by the way. I don't think I haven't really looked into them at all. Answered a reporter, it is always a good idea to look back and try to find any lessons we can learn, especially from tragedies like this, so we can prevent them moving forward, including the law enforcement response. Imagine selling your soul to stand up on a podium to defend the police who beat the fucking shit out of crying parents. Like, how the fuck do these people sleep at night? Like, I'm serious. Everyone who's trying to sanitize the police response needs to go to jail immediately. That's in a just society that would happen. We would remove these people from society, throwing them in the steel cages. Instead, we have all these steel cages, and we throw people inside them for smoking weed. Huh? People that aren't a threat or danger to our society are in the steel cages. Meanwhile, these people are walking around, saying and doing and defending the most heinous shit imaginable. This is fucking insane. It's insane. It's crazy ass fucking shit. It's crazy ass motherfucking shit. Police stood by for upwards of 40 minutes. We're now learning it's closer to 90 minutes. 12 minutes before he entered the school, and an hour after he entered the school. I believe it was 11:28 when he crashed his car outside the school and began shooting random people. And according to another source, it was 1:06 p.m. when he was pronounced dead. So that's a lot longer than 40 minutes. A lot longer than 40 minutes. The gunman stormed the building around 11 a.m. Tuesday, according to a report. Investigators are piecing together what happened over the blah, 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 blah. The president, in sidestepping the question on whether a Biden administration will call for an investigation into police response, Jean-Pierre stressed Biden's support for law enforcement. The president has the utmost respect, as you all know, for the men and women of law enforcement. Just days ago, he honored the memory of former police officer Aaron Salter in Buffalo, who was killed bravely while trying to stop the shooter at a supermarket. Really? You're going to say, oh, well, one of the people killed in Buffalo was an ex-cop, so that makes it okay. When cops do anything wrong, it's okay, because one of the victims of the Buffalo shooting was an ex-cop? This is insane. This is insane. And we're all walking around and pretending as if these are the leaders of our country and that they have power. The most insane, out of control, crazy, out of touch morons imaginable are the ones running our society. Imagine saying this. Imagine saying this. Like, you're the press secretary. You have no fucking soul. Imagine fucking saying this shit. Oh, well, someone that was murdered in another terror attack that cops didn't really do anything about, and an ex-cop, by the way, good guy with the gun, failed to act in time. So therefore, police beating the shit out of parents, tasing and pepper spraying them while waiting 90 minutes to do anything, it's all good. Because there was an ex-cop halfway across the country that was also killed by... Imagine being the press secretary. And imagine, like, saying that. And imagine how you have to feel walking out of the podium. Imagine what kind of drugs you have to be on to numb the pain from saying this kind of shit. It's fucking incomprehensible. It's insane. It's fucking insane. I don't know what else to tell you. And Joe Biden's going to go down there and defend the cops and sing his sob story. Oh, I know what it's like to lose my kids. He's going to fix nothing. He's going to install no new people to do anything. He's going to improve nothing. He's going to go there, market himself, try to get a good couple of photos of him with a tear down his cheek to use for the 2024 campaign, and that's it. He doesn't give a fuck. In the same way he went to Buffalo and basically said, oh, this sucks. Gee willikers, if only we could have done something about this, and then walked away. This is insane. This is insane. This is fucking crazy ass fucking shit. These are the leaders of our country. These are the people that run this fucking show, and they're fucking crazy. They're fucking crazy ass motherfuckers. They're fucking crazy ass motherfucking fuckface bitches. What the fuck? It's fucking crazy. And also, the other day was the 2-year anniversary of George Floyd being murdered by police. And we can see here Biden signs executive order on policing. They're trying to market this as if it's promises made, promises kept. Like the Trump fucking thing. Joe Biden, I'll cover this in a more detailed segment maybe tomorrow or something, but Joe Biden signed an executive order that only applies to the FBI? Okay, so the FBI can no longer do or perform chokeholds. Great. But guess what? Most of people, when they interact with police, are not interacting with the FBI, you stupid fucking prick. Was George Floyd interacting with the FBI? Remind me. What department did the police officer who murdered George Floyd belong to? Because, correct me if I'm wrong, it was not the FBI. Now again, Joe Biden doesn't have the power to do any executive orders that would do anything in regards to anything but the FBI. But they could be marketing this as if this is all I can do, and now Congress needs to act, and now Congress needs to pass this new legislation. But he's not. He's marketing this as if promises made, promises kept. Trump Biden 2024. What? It's insane. These fucking people are insane. They're crazy motherfuckers. And we have to live with the consequences. We have to live with the consequences for this fucking shit. Joe Biden will never face consequences. Donald Trump will never face consequences. The police who stood outside and beat the fuck out of parents, they're never going to face consequences. The governor of Texas, never going to face consequences. These people are going to live their lives in luxury and in happiness, while we all have to deal with the mess that they're making. We have to clean up their mess, while they get to go chill in their fucking Martha's Vineyard house like fucking Barack Obama. Which, by the way, remember when Barack Obama exacerbated the military excess equipment programs that gave local police forces extra excess military equipment? Why did he do that? Oh, right. Because a fucking black person was shot and murdered in Ferguson, and Barack Obama didn't really like the reaction to that. He thought that the cops were not well equipped to handle the rioters and looters, and then gave them extra military hardware. And now they've got all this fucking shit. They got riot gear, fucking machine guns, they got snipers. But they'd rather tase and pepper spray innocent parents and tackle them to the ground and mash their fucking face into concrete. It's insane. It's fucking crazy. And will Barack Obama face any consequences? Nope. Will Donald Trump face any consequences? Nope. Will Joe Biden face any consequences? Nope. No one will ever even have to acknowledge. It's one thing if they don't face any consequences, but they at least maybe apologize or acknowledge that they're fucking pure, unadulterated evil. But they don't even acknowledge it. They live in a fantasy world where they're like, oh, we made tough decisions, but overall we're heroes. That they live in that fantasy world. They're rich aristocrats that are out of touch and never will ever have to face the consequences for what they're doing. Do you think Barack Obama or Joe Biden's kids would ever go to public school? Do you think they would ever be in any remote danger like your kids are in this country? Nah. They're set up. The rest of their lives are fucking paid for. They got security teams 24/7. They don't have to deal with the consequences of their parents' horrible leadership. Because we live in a caste system in this country where the rich never, ever, ever face consequences for their actions. They live in a different world. They construct a world like the NRA convention going on, right? Donald Trump is going to be speaking at an NRA convention or some shit, and they banned guns. What? The rich play by different rules. They have their own little areas. Wherever they got security that actually functions in those areas. It's insane. And they will never even acknowledge that the decisions they make lead to this kind of stuff. Joe Biden. Jesus Christ, I don't even know where to, just. Phil Smart, $10. I have liked hearing your commentary on this. Thanks. Thank you, I appreciate it. My commentary on this is a solid okay. All right. So here's a video of Ted Cruz responding to reporters from Sky News, apparently. Let's watch.
19 sets of parents who are never going to get to kiss their child goodnight again.
Is this the moment to reform gun laws?
You know, it's easy to go to politics.
But it's important. It's at the heart of the issue.
I get that that's where the media likes to go.
No, it's not. It's where many of the people we've talked to here like to go.
The proposals from Democrats in the media, inevitably, when some violent psychopath murders people.
A violent psychopath who's able to get a weapon so easily. 18-year-old with 2 AR-15s.
If you want to stop violent crime, the proposals the Democrats have, none of them would have stopped this.
But why does this only happen in your country? I really think that's what many people around the world just, they cannot fathom. Why only in America? Why is this American exceptionalism so awful?
You know, I'm sorry you think American exceptionalism is awful.
I think this aspect of it.
You got your political agenda.
No, it's honestly,
God love you.
Senator, it's not. I just want to...
Why is Ted Cruz touching this reporter, by the way? If I'm this reporter, I'm going to file assault charges. Why the fuck was this guy touching me? Get your fucking hands off of me, you fucking prick. Why the fuck is this guy touching this dude? That's fucking fucked up. If I touch a senator, I go to jail instantly. I get tackled and tased by Secret Service. Senator touches a reporter. It's all good, bro.
Senator, it's not. I just want to understand why you do not think that guns are the problem.
Why is this just an American problem?
Well, it is just an American problem, sir.
Mr. Cruz, why is America the only country that faces this kind of mass shooting?
But you can't answer that. You can't answer that, can you, sir? You can't answer that. Why is this country...
Why is it that people come from all over the world to America? Because it's the freest, most prosperous, safest country on earth.
It may be the freest, it may be the most...
Why are our kids dying in school?
Ted Cruz, triggered. That's insane. Like, again, I need you to understand, American exceptionalism is no different than what they taught the Hitler Youth in Nazi Germany. Your country is the greatest country, your people are the greatest people, and there's no criticisms to be had, everything is perfect. Follow the leader. It's insane. I need you to understand, Ted Cruz is a Nazi. There is no difference. There is no difference, even remote difference, other than time period. Other than that we have, like, phone cameras that can record this stuff. That's the only difference between Ted Cruz and someone like Adolf Hitler. They believe in the same ideology, just a different year. It's insane. Also, it's just not even true. America, our population is dwindling because there's millions of people that are leaving this country every year. Why? because they probably have kids and don't want to send them to fucking schools in America. And note, by the way, Ted Cruz, the Democrats and the media wouldn't have fixed this. You want to explain how? Okay, that's great. You disagree with Democrats? Okay. Can you go into specifics? The Democrats wouldn't have stopped this. Okay, supporting evidence? Maybe? Any supporting evidence? Are you going to even acknowledge what policy you're referring to? Because there's a lot of different Democrats and a lot of them have a lot of different ideas. So, what are you even fucking talking about? But again, these people, they're trained to be as vague as possible. And again, I want to ask, why the fuck was Ted Cruz touching this guy? Where was it?
Murders people.
I'd like to go psychically. And in your country, I really think that's what many people around the world just, they cannot fathom. Why only in America? Why is this American exceptionalism so awful?
You know, I'm sorry you think American exceptionalism is awful.
I think this aspect of it.
You got your political agenda.
No, it's
Again, why is Ted Cruz, a senator, allowed to touch someone in the media? But if the media were to do if this situation were reversed, this person would have been tackled to the ground, tased, and arrested, and probably sent to jail? Isn't that fucking insane to think about? We're fucked. We're fucked, folks. Oh my God. Fucking insane. I mean, it's just insane to watch all of this. Like, when I was young, I was told reading the news is like, oh, let's check the stock market. Oh, let's see what sports teams are doing well. Oh, let's talk about new products, that's when my fucking grandpa's telling me about reading the news and why it's good to read the news, now read the news. School shootings, cops doing nothing, murder, rampage, another school shooting. There's been 30 school shootings this year. I don't know, man. Do people not realize this shit is getting worse than it was 100 years ago? We're this is not good. This is bad, actually. I would be willing to probably argue that this is bad. This is not a good thing to be involved in. It's fucking insane. Fucking insane. All right, y'all. I'm going to end the show soon. But I'm going to cleanse the palate and do a movie review so that we don't leave on such a horrible note. I'd like to remind everyone to drink water. 75% of Americans are dehydrated. So take this moment to drink some water. And also I'm going to review a movie. So check it out. All right. So, I watched a filmographic experience, if you will, called Possessor, a film by Brandon Cronenberg.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
So, I watched this movie, and I gotta say, pretty good. This is one of those movies that is kind of hard to spoil, right? I could describe every part of this movie, but I wouldn't spoil the experience watching it, right? This movie has a lot of, there's a lot going on in this movie. So, so The core like concept of this movie is that there's like an elite assassination company, and what they do is they have a technology that is seemingly underground, like they only have access to this technology apparently. And this technology allows them to basically take over people's minds, right? And so what they do is they'll possess people's minds and have them commit crimes so that, you know, it's better than having the assassin with a sniper rifle, because then, you know, who knows if they got caught on a camera somewhere. So, you know, possess a random person, have them commit a crime. That's the concept of the movie. I just want to say the effects in this movie, there's a lot of really gory ass fucking shit in this movie. I also want to say that this movie was made in 2020. And I am going to be honest, I didn't notice any CG in this movie. I think everything was practical. Now, I could be wrong. But like, it seemed like I was like looking for the CG, but there were so many practical effects. For a 2020 film, that's amazing, actually. So I just want to say I'm very impressed with the amount of practical effects that were used in this film. And for that, I just want to once again say...
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
So, anyway, so the plot basically, the first, like, you know, there's the introductory assassination possessor, right, where you understand, you know, it's the setup. You understand what the system is, right? It takes place in the first part of the movie. So at the first part of the movie, they show that the person who's possessing someone is like a long time like worker for this corporation, this dystopian assassination corporation. And they're experiencing some problems, right? That's kind of like, when you possess another human, there might be like some issues with that. You know, it's an advanced technology, right? And so she is unable, like one of the core ways that you possess someone, right, and get out of the possession is you kill yourself, right? Like, you know, once you kill the target, you kill yourself, and then you go back to your base body. But she's having problems killing herself. Like, she's afraid to do it. It's unclear, and I like how it's unclear. That's a good thing, that it's unclear, in my opinion. Like, the less clear it is, the better, because I love that open to interpretation thing. I hate when films explain way too much. And this film definitely explains just enough to make it very enjoyable, and again, a lot of open to interpretation. So anyway, then she's like, I want to go back to my family or whatever, take a break and, you know, just kind of stop being a weirdo assassin. But then, like, you know, her employers are like, you know, you got to come in. We got one more job for you. It's always one more job every time. There's always one more. There's one more, and then it's over because that was the last one that you're going to do. And then, you know, So anyway, they set up this whole thing where it's like, okay, we got a high profile target. You want to basically kill their whole family so that, you know, the stepson inherits the whole company or whatever, something like that. So, now I just want to say, like, I'm just throwing this out there, just, you know, there is some full frontal male nudity in this movie. And they tease it throughout a lot. So there's a lot of sex scenes in this movie. There's like a couple. And there's a couple of them where we get teased with the full cock. And I was like, I'm thinking to myself, how come, this is something I notice in movies, is that they have no problem showing titties, but there's always a problem with cock. They never want to show the cock in the movie. This movie, we get to see full cock, and so that's there you go. So if that's something that you want to see, there you go. So anyway, throwing that out there. Another box that gets checked off on this movie is dead kids. No spoilers, but a kid gets shot in the head. And then the camera shows the kid bleeding out in a pool of blood from the headshot. Now, I just want to say, as I've said before, any movie that has the balls to kill children, I'm in. I'm in. Most movies are afraid of that. So anyway, this movie, pretty good. Pretty good. The plot, again, you know, I don't want to spoil all the twists and turns, but basically the assassination goes well, but the assassin has a trouble going back to her old body, right? And then so the first half of the movie are the assassinations, and the second half of the movie is like the host and the possessor fighting over control of the host's body, right? And then, things go awry, and, it's a fun movie to watch. No dogs are killed, right? Nope, no dogs are killed. Anyway, it's a good movie. I would recommend it. It's gross. It's very gross. I enjoyed it. And I would recommend this movie if you like gross psychological horror films. This does a good job. And also, there's some cock. So I just want to throw that out there. That's a bonus. Get it? A bonus? Anyway, good movie. The effects are good. Again, it's all practical effects. And that's what I love. You don't see that often in movies, right? Lately, like, this is all practical. Now, it could have been that there was some CG, I don't know, but I was looking really hard, and I think I'm under the impression that this movie was all practical. But anyway, again, Brandon Cronenberg, son of, I believe, David Cronenberg. I've only seen Scanners, which I'm told is, like, one of his least good films. So I'm getting into the Cronenberg family here. But once again, I have to say this movie, surprisingly very good. I don't know why I say it's surprisingly good, but it's good. I'd recommend it.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
So there you go. Possessor. It's on the list. I recommend it. If you like cock, and you like dead kids, and you like psychological horror, and you like gore, there's a lot of scenes in this movie where, like, the assassins will, like, literally, like, let me continue talking about this. But the assassins, instead of just shooting the target in the head, there'll be, like, a 2-minute scene of them with a fucking butcher knife going, and then there's, like, blood coming, and it's, like, it's unedited, right? It's just full, like, yep, I've got, like, the one assassination has, like, a fireplace poker, and they go and they jam it into the motherfucker's head and, like, rip their teeth out and, like, jam it into their eyeballs and go, like, and it's like, bro, you've got a gun. Just shoot this motherfucker. You don't need to spend several minutes. But it's great. I don't know, man. It's great. Anyway, I recommend this movie. If any of these things seem interesting to you, there you go. Yeah, I'm definitely going to get into the Cronenbergs. The Cronenberg verse. Y'all, I'm not going to lie. I am fucking sweaty. I am sweating up a storm. It's getting really hot today, apparently. So I'm going to probably get into some more comfortable clothing, but I cannot do that on stream. So that necessitates the end of this program. Thank you all for watching. Once again, if you want to be a good person, you can be a bad person if you want. And we live in a binary world of good and bad. And if you want to qualify for being a good person, you can give me money today. My birthday is next Tuesday, and the U.S. government has given me the gift of revoking my access to healthcare and health insurance. So I'm dealing with that shit over the next however long it's going to take. I have no idea. And so if you want to get me a birthday present, or just relieve my anxiety of having to eventually probably have to pay for my own healthcare, I would appreciate that. So there you go. That's all I got. And I am sweaty, so I'm going to take my clothes off, and I'm going to take a shower, and I'm going to not put any clothes back on, probably, because it's fucking hot as hell. What's the weather right now? It's goddamn 24 degrees. That's some bull. That's some fucking bull. All right, y'all. Have a good one. Enjoy your day to the best of your possibilities.
Let's go, Brandon. I agree.
It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree. It is time for us to do what we have been doing, and that time is every day. Every day it is time for us to agree.
I've got to go. Let me respond. There's a lot to respond to here. Let's get something straight. You shouldn't be disappointed. What I've done so far is more than anybody else has done this far. Okay? Number one. Number two, I mean what I say when I say it. I mean what I say when I say it. I'm the only person who's ever run on 3 platforms that I was told could not possibly win the election. And I never ceased from it, talking about it. The words of presidents matter. Nobody else.
But the real problem is that our leaders are dumb. Dumb. So dumb.
Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party and party. Here I am, Nancy Pelosi, saying this country needs a strong Republican Party, and we do.
I am not up to the job. And I mean that sincerely. It's not like, whoa, I am not up to the job. I am not up to the job. I am not up to the job.
Should we have done that sooner?
We are doing it.
But should we have done it sooner?
We are doing it.